Our second demonstration of the evening will be with Sam Watson. He rides Nominator, or Juki to his friends. And Sam, I suppose, is now up at 3-star level. But Sam is going to talk to us again how he started off at the start, right the way up to 3-star, which we can all aspire to get to.
I think the Thoroughbred gives so much plasticity, which is like that ability for muscles to change and adapt. So like we always, like we're really guilty of this as eventers, you know, we're there on a 17-year-old horse saying, yeah, he's just taking a bit of time, he's just coming into himself. You know, we always like giving ourselves the excuse that it takes time, but those Thoroughbred horses in particular, like they get fast twitch, fast response, quick response muscles, but the strength, their strength as bodybuilders in the gym, that takes a lot longer to build, whereas the warm bloods and the half-breds and the draft horses, they come out of the womb a lot stronger. Not like myself. I don't know what I am. I'm not a Thoroughbred and I'm not a draft. I don't know what I am. Not very athletic. But actually the good news for anyone who wants to have a career in riding is that we're not the athlete. Now, we have to get fit. We've got to be careful saying that. But in terms of mindset, I remember in 2018, I better trot. I'll be here all night if I don't warm up. I remember in 2018, while I was going cross country at a course in America, at one of those world championships that Joanne was talking about, and I found I had so much time. I was on a very good horse and he loved cross country. It was an 11-minute course. And you know, 11 minutes is quite a long time. And I was there in between fences and you know, thoughts just start popping into your head. And I was like, God, this is fine. This is going a bit too smoothly. Like this is kind of going well as I was galloping between fences. And I realized that like this isn't about me. You know, this isn't about me doing anything. So I was kind of asking myself, like, what should I be doing? Like these thoughts are entering my head. What should I be thinking about? And as long as the horse, and I said, well, Sam, it's not about you. It's about like, is this horse switched off, galloping from A to B as efficiently as possible, not wiggling around the place? Where's the next fence? Okay, it's coming up in about 300-400 meters time. What speed do we need to be at? When do I need to get him looking at it? And that's all I've got to do. And I kind of, from that point onwards, I developed this framework, which seems to be working. I won't say they're Sam's 4 S's, but they're the 4 S's that I use. We control the speed, not too fast, not too slow. So different fences. Some fences we can be very quick at on cross country, nice brush fence, nice profile. We can save time and we can be quick. Other fences, a bounce into water or something, we just need to take the pace off a little bit, give a horse time to judge it and read it. So not too fast. So we control speed, that's 1 S. Straightness is a big one. And straightness is kind of your steering, but it's your ability to guide a horse. These angles here, they're not very angled at all. We'll make them a bit more angled in a bit. But the thing about them, it's not the straightness between them, it's the bloody turn in. You hear building, I noticed she probably didn't jump them, did she? The 2 angles. She expects me to do that now off a hairpin bend. But that's your second S, is your straightness and your steering and your straightness. So speed, straightness, softness. Lovely thing watching Nikki riding, and it's why she's such a good producer of a horse, is like when Easy was getting a bit close or a little bit, she was so soft in the way she rides, and she let him get in a little bit close, and she let him learn the mistake, because she's the trainer, but she stayed soft doing it. If when she was getting a little bit deep, she'd started swinging out of his mouth and saying, oh shite, I'm on it, oh God, is this being filmed? Is saying, I'm on a bad stride, excuse my language, better apologize. I've got 2 kids. You just swear at them all the time. That's what they bring it out in you. Sorry, I should be apologizing. 2 children. They're actually the reason I'm swearing. So she was soft, even when she had to adjust that speed. Someone was asking a question about a horse that's very strong. And that's why Juki, I normally ride all my horses in a snaffle, sometimes to my detriment. It didn't really work very well around Burley last year. Juki's in this because cross country, he is keen, he does like to go. And this is it's just a feeling, and it might change in the next 6 months or 3 months or whatever, but at the moment he's very responsive to it, and it allows me to stay very delicate. And that's what I want, because I want to be soft. I want the horse to be able to do it. So I got my speed, my straightness, my softness. They're my 3 responsibilities so far. My 4th one is staying on. If I can do that, you're going to get a long way. And then I start saying, like, success is the simple stuff done really, really well. And what's just as important about those 4 responsibilities are the ones that aren't in there. Seeing a stride, not my responsibility, because I can't control it. Okay, there's very little I can control. The only thing I can really control is softness. Okay, I directly control softness, because if a horse gets strong, or a horse is a little stronger in the left rein or the right rein, I can take it a little bit more with the right, I can soften a little bit with the left. I absolutely control softness. I can directly influence speed and straightness. Okay, I'm kind of loath to say I control speed and I control straightness, because I don't want to be a controlling rider and get too physical, but I can directly influence it. I cannot directly influence what I see. If a naked person walks into this arena, I cannot unsee that, or not see it, unless I close my eyes, I guess. Depends what they look like. But we can't control what we see. So we can indirectly influence it. So through thousands of hours of practice, doing lots of canter poles, lots of related distance, our eye will improve. But if you go into a ring, or if you walk a course and you say, God, I really hope I see a good stride to fence number 3, there's nothing you can do about it to see a better stride, so do not worry about it. And that's where you've got to have enough. That's why we let the horses sort themselves out a little bit. That's why if you approach at the right speed, where you're not too slow and you're a little bit off, they have enough power and scope to get over the fence. Or if you aren't too fast and you're a little bit close, you're not going to knock the fence out of the way. So the right speed, and if you're soft enough, the horse can use itself. You're never, even when the stride's a little bit deep or a little bit off, you'll be okay. Anyway, that was quite an intro, wasn't it? What am I going to do to start with? I've got a plan. Oh yeah, this related distance. So I'm going to kind of pick up where Nikki left off. Joanne, have you any questions for me? Am I going too far off piece?
You said that bit. That's a universal bit, is it?
I don't know, Sparks, what is it?
A universal bit, yeah, for those looking at it. Yeah, they're actually not overly expensive. I'm sure the tack shop here in Goresbridge might have a couple of them, but just people, getting their horses and they go, oh God, what bit do I put in? Most of them, I suppose, have been ridden in snaffles or the big ring bits and things like that. Where you, as you say, you start off in a nice snaffle bit, nice and soft and gently, and then work up as opposed to working down.
Absolutely, and also going back to snaffles all the time, like not getting into it, because why are you changing your bit in the first place? It's actually so that you can be softer, so that you can be delicate. If you put a stronger bit in and you are still and like when it feels strong, it's wrong. Okay, so you've got to find ways. And believe me, guys, we're all human. It feels strong on rocket at times, which is theory and practice. But at the same time, I have to take responsibility for that and work on it and go and, like, typical training program for a horse, they might do kind of 3 days flat work. They might only jump once a week. They might do one fitness day, a hacking day. You don't do loads. But like with rocket, I have to do quite a lot of work out on the hills, practicing that softness and that control, because it's the biggest thing that I'm trying to fix all the time. And that conversation, not practicing my mistakes, not when it feels wrong, it's wrong. So stripping it back to basics. What we're doing in here is not being afraid to stick to that framework of success is the simple stuff done really, really well. Building a really strong, secure base. And that's, your pyramid, however high you build your building, whether you go to a World Championships or an Olympics or wherever you go to, it's all about the quality of your foundation. And as a youngster, as a kid, firstly, I thought it was all about me. I was trying to get to an Olympics. I wasn't thinking about being a trainer. That is what we're learning as horse riders. We're learning how to be trainers and then not get in their way, which is sometimes why I need to go for a run. because if I need to go for a few runs at the moment, if I'm being honest, before I get to badminton, just so I'm not in their way, like that he doesn't have to take more of me around badminton than he needs to.
Our Olympics could be the 90 at our local show. Our Olympics could be, maybe that 90 or that meter, as we say, part of the Eventing Ireland series this year. They could be our Olympics. They could be our small goals. But as you say, it's still the same steps. It's still having the foundations right, be it jumping 90, 80, 90, up to Olympic level. Yeah.
Okay, let's jump a fence. Will I jump a fence? So sticking with my framework of my speed, my straightness, my softness, my staying on, I've got a plan. I'm going to try and do Nicky's 7. He's quite short striding, this guy. So that's going to feel like I'm not going to be too collected here. As he sees a deep shot coming in. Leave. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Good boy. And I definitely wouldn't be going any more than that on 6. I think one of the toughest things facing us when we're retraining a horse is in training you can set yourself up for success. You can build the distances how you want them, what suits your horse. You got someone on the ground to help you. I'm just going to do the 7 again. I can't multitask. I can't talk and count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Good boy.
What I've noticed there with Nominator coming down that line versus Easy Game. Easy Game is, maybe a little bit more up in front, his ears pricked. Yeah. He never missed a beat. He's just so in balance now, and that obviously just comes with plenty of practice. Obviously now we're doing 3-star. Yeah. But just the difference of the two horses doing the line there, both did it so beautifully, but Easy Game was ears pricked, much more up into her hand. Nicky's hand's beautiful and soft, whereas he has his lovely balance.
Switch the ground line.
Balance there. So that again comes with just plenty of foundation work.
Exactly. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go the other way. These guys want it to be bigger, don't you? I'm going to go bigger in a second. I'm going to go, because I want to do, when we're doing the 8 strides or the 9, whatever we're doing, playing with the gears. Collection is going to be easier for this guy than it is for Easy Game anyway. Different type of, this guy's a little bit more compact. His difficulty actually is he's short striding. So when I start going to get the 6 strides here, I'm going to have to try and get that ground cover without speed, okay? And I'm starting to get technical and away from the framework a little bit of just control the speed, but I'm going to need more canter, I'm going to need more stride length, but I don't want to be going down there at 1,000,000 miles an hour. But I'm going to firstly, to work on particularly in this environment for him, the first thing that happened when I came in, or from his point of view, because he doesn't speak English, is that girl over there with the microphone, the other girl, she asked you all to clap right as I was standing there. I mean, oh my God, what a challenge. She didn't know what was happening. He was getting attacked.
Keep on your toes, Sam.
Keep me on my toes. Yeah. So no, he's nice and settled here. He's getting, what am I doing? I'm going to do 8. I'm going to do 8 strides here. So I'm going to I'm going to already collect the canter a little bit. Be patient, let it come to me. Leave. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Observant people will see he went out a little through the right shoulder. Most horses, and maybe anyone in the audience got a horse who's a little bit strong in the left rein. They're strong in the left rein normally because they go out through the right shoulder, and it's common. So when I'm coming around here, I'm using a little bit more outside leg, and I'm actually going to think a little shoulder in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good boy, Juki. And it's kind of easy, he doesn't even look super collected yet. So I'll do a 9. I'm actually just going to open up a little bit here so I don't get stuck in this short canter.
Some people put 2 poles down in between to guide them. Do you think that's any benefit if maybe our leg aids aren't the best?
Now say that again, John. I didn't hear a word you said. Actually,
I'm here, if some people will put down 2 poles either side as your runway to your next fence to keep you straight, that's another helpful exercise for you?
Yeah, a little bit like Nicky was doing with these guys with the poles on the side. A massive takeaway coming out of here is don't think that you're cheating or that you're fooling yourself when you're putting up these aids to help you. Like, again, it's repetition, it's repeat, it's set yourself up for success. From a horse's point of view, you're just helping them to do it right. And then, like, I would much rather do something difficult with guide rails or something like that to help me and to help the horse to do it really well, and then go to a competition and have to deal with it and, you know, and not have them, but I've trained really well, than to be training. I'm doing 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Good boy. And I still wanted to be soft on the end, so it's little micro feels, micro softens. Good boy. It's good. Okay. Let's throw it up there. Say 4 holes and switch the ground line on that one, please. I think a good question sometimes can be like, why are we doing that why are we giving ourselves, doing an exercise like that, adding strides? Again, it's not what you do. It's not just the fact that you add strides down there. It's how you do it, that you don't lose the straightness and that they stay soft. But it's because one of those core responsibilities being the speed control, the ability to influence speed. Oh, did I die? No, I didn't die. Yeah. But just being able to do those gear changes. Then when you go cross country, it's one of the things that you try to influence, or even in around a show, jumping, whatever you're doing, is you're trying to have the horse listening to you, with you, you're using your upper body, and you're just able to go on like 2nd gear, 3rd gear, 4th gear, 5th gear, whatever that might be. So here I'm just going to go off the right rein. I'm going to go back to my 7. Again, I'm always now thinking more as a trainer and thinking for the horse, what's the right distance for him here? When it gets a little bigger, we'll go on 6. It's a little, if I was doing 9 strides down there, I'm probably taking away too much canter for him to use himself well over the fence. Eyes up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then what I start thinking about there as a rider was I thought now, because I've been doing all my collection, that he might find that 7, like almost I'd have to ride up a little bit. But I got a nice jump in, and I'd have said I was like a normal 4 and a collected 3. So I'm going to try and do a bit of a quieter 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. And then I can move up and give him a little bit of room. So like you can do that as well. There's so much you can do on an exercise like that. And as riders, that's what you should be thinking. Not just, am I jumping? That looks really boring, right? You could be doing that all day long, be like, geez, I'm just jumping 2 fences. But when you start thinking to yourself, am I doing 6, 7, 8, 9 strides? And then how am I doing a 7? Am I coming in open, and then am I closing, and why would I be doing that? That's great. Like, that's you and the horse. That's what relationship is. That's what partnership is. Good boy, Juki. I noticed Nikki doing a lot of one-handed, when she was doing her patting and her good boys with easy. It's lovely. It's a great thing to do. It's not, riding with one hand isn't showing off. I think we have a big, culturally, and it's ironic because we tend to be quite terrible at dressage as a nation. But one of the is we really want horses to be on the bit. It's one of the first things that you might do when you get a thoroughbred out of racing who's been running quite long and open. And sure, they don't want to lose by, they ain't going to be pulling the nose in and then lose by a nose, the trainer would kill them. So the nose is out. And I find it a lot harder when horses come into our yard. I find it a lot harder to kind of retrain a sport horse who's been ridden by someone who's been desperately trying to get them on the bit all the time, and maybe has been a bit too heavy with the hand, a little bit too one-sided, has felt that they're a little bit stronger in the left rein than the right rein, and rather than trying to get under the hood and work out why that is, they've been too scared about what the dressage judge might think, and they've been holding on to them too much. You get a locked, fixed, rigid horse because of that. What you can get with a horse who comes out of racing is you can get a rigid horse all right. A horse who from nose to tail is quite long and hasn't done much manipulation through the spine through its life. But how you get a horse to flex through its spine this way over its back is to start by flexing it through its middle, through its back. If you get the spine to relax left and right off your leg and kind of flexing them that way, getting that mobility into the back that way, which again, racehorses rarely do because they're just going, on a gallop in a straight line. So the riding with one hand, I nearly lost myself there, that's very unlike me, is good because you're not, like, I don't mind there that he came up in the transition. I'm not, it's not worry too much about where the nose is, just the softness and just play with them a little bit, and then start learning to steer off your legs and be like, I don't know where I'm going to go. There's not many, because he's going to think I'm going to jump the fence. I might have to jump the fence one-handed. But you can kind of do that. But I want to pop in a circle, and I want to be able to do it. And it's just a delicate little feel off the rein, and I'm using my outside leg a little bit. And I'm turning, and it's just noticing Nikki riding, and she was doing it padding, and I'm sure she probably does a bit of it at home, riding with one hand. But it kind of gives you license to not be perfect, to not have your horse on the bit. But I love his frame. I love where his nose goes out a little bit there. Now as he's looking, he's kind of thinking, Sam, why are we going beside the fences? He's clearly above the bit there, but it's fine. It's not the end of the world because it's soft. And then we want to, I'm just going to go and jump a fence. Point made, move on, Sam. So someone's got to rein me in. What am I going to do? I'm going to do 7 strides one more time off the left rein. Whoa, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, it's really good for you to see people who are meant to be professional riders doing a really bad job. I think it gives everybody a bit of confidence. So,
yeah, I think he deserves a round of applause for that one.
I was too far off, too unprepared. I was telling you all about story about riding with one hand. He does that a little bit. He cuts out on me a little bit behind. Good boy. In the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Good boy. That's all right. Good.
You got 7 in the last time, even though you will be polite and say maybe didn't jump the best way in. But you never panicked. You just shifted your weight a little bit, sat up, and he just came back up to you. Whereas some people go, hands up, pull, and the whole thing gets ruined. Where you again landed there beautifully and got 7 again. So at home, what do we do when we ultimately miss at the first fence? We just don't panic, is sit and...
100%, don't panic. Like that's the thing, is to get yourself back into that coach mindset. Imagine you're a coach, you send your kids out onto the pitch, and you realize you didn't tell them which direction they were playing in or something. You got to be like, shit, if I start shouting at them now, they're all going to look at me, and they're not going to look at the opposition. And I'm actually, if I get involved now, I'm gonna make them even worse. They'll figure it out. The training that we've put in, the hours I've put in. So there's a time and a place, and again, mindset-wise, like what have I learned? I'm now 40. It's awful, really awful. It was a tough Christmas. I turned 40. But what I've learned in that time is you get a thicker skin. You're not as mortified in front of all you guys, and bloody video evidence of it now as well, of making a mistake. And that allows you to stay calmer and do what Joanne says. But again, the benefit of you guys being here is to hear someone say that and go, okay, don't suddenly go, oh, sugar, and oh, crap. And sometimes they make a mistake. Sometimes the horses will make a mistake as well. And that you don't go, you bugger, why did you look at that? Or, why did you do this, that? And it's like, okay, what's the best I can do at this moment? Now, when you're in the ring and you're, trying to jump a clear round, what's going through your head is maybe not what's the best can I do in this moment, but that's what should be in your head when you're training. And then that will become your auto response then when you're doing this. Guys, let's go up another 4 holes. I'm going to try 6 strides down there, and then we'll do something a bit more interesting. Better get on my 6. The reason I want to do 6 is more for, and just put the second rail up a little bit as well, is just to get up into that upper canter now.
What do you think has helped Nominator progress, I suppose, so quickly up through the national levels since you've had him? Is it, I always think that they have great brains, they have great temperament, they have great trainability. What?
he is athletic. Like, we could get he's gonna have to, like, for the show jumping, he's got to learn to spend a little bit more time in the air. Like, that's taking a little bit longer to train. It's a little bit of a kind of a cliche in terms of the thoroughbred to event horse journey. I actually think easy game is a lovely way of jumping. That will take a little longer, Joanne, but his mindset, he loves work. He loves training. He loves jumping. And that's a really common trait in the thoroughbred. They're a very forward-thinking, positive type of a horse. He is athletically, you can move him forward, you can collect him. So doing that exercise that you've seen there is, you can do that quite well. And I guess that's probably why. I think it's attitude, and I think it's probably athleticism that's allowed him to do it. He's not the most simple. Like, I've had to bring me Laurie today because he's got a friend down there. Poor old Goldman's here sitting in the car park. He thinks he's going to be sold in Goresbridge.
No better place.
No better place to
Haven't
find a champion.
Haven't you got your badminton horse that was purchased here at the Goresbridge?
Exactly, Ballyneedy Rocket Man. This is the home of champions. Somebody get me started now. Give me away. I need $1,000. Have we got 1,000? Okay, but got to concentrate. What am I doing? I'm doing 6 strides. I need a little bit more canter because this is going to be 1 stride less. So I better not be too deep. Keep the canter, don't interfere. Trust the canter. I'm not going to see a stride until about 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Whoa, good boy. So he actually got the 6 easy, and that's a good thing. Whoa, a little fast. Whoa. So balance to the softness. So we got our canter there, just releasing my arms, trying to relax my body. I'm talking too much. That's what he doesn't know what's going on. He said, "Why do you keep talking?" Eyes up. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Good boy.
Good boy.
Oh. Good boy. For me,
talk us there how he felt through that there for us as riders. Or us as riders watching you going, "Ooh, how did that feel for you there?"
Yeah, I'm happy with that because he is, like, for him, like, he did hurdle. I know he started on the point-to-point field, but he did 2 hurdles races. He was actually beaten by Marine Nationale. Beaten being the emphasis on beaten, unfortunately. He was spending a bit of time in the air, a little rounder. I was happy with that for him. He does have a little touch on that second vertical. And look, if he's going to have a rail, that's what he's going to do. But you just got to trust the process, and it will come. Like, he is still really only a 2nd season event horse. No, 3rd season, I guess. But, he's not really got 3 under his belt yet. He'll learn as these go up. He's getting there. But I'm happy. I'm happy that it's a lot easier, that I'm not having to really move just to get 6 strides. His superpower is adding strides. He's nice and collected. But now we better do some fun stuff. Let's do some cross country. Can we make this bigger? Hang on, let me jump it once and then I'll make it bigger. I should be fair to him. So what will I do? Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to jump it a couple of times, and then I'll start to make it a little harder by angling it, because that will sort of make the target a little bit smaller. To be honest, if I start having mistakes now, it's really on me rather than him. Good, but he's got to see the fence. Good boy. What I'm trying to do as I go around here, I'm trying to guide him rather than steer him. Riding is very counterintuitive. If you pull on the inside rein, you lock him up. So you got to try and turn with the outside 8. Good boy. Okay. I said I'd angle it. Let me try and angle it a little bit. So yeah, with my hands there, if you start noticing my hands, I'm doing something wrong. So when you watch me going around badminton, I'll be doing a lot wrong, I can tell you now. But this is what we should be doing. And I kind of joke about that, but really, less is more. Like, it's not just for training, it's not just for show. Oh, I'm going to be a little deep. Good boy, good boy. Okay, guys, let's see, can we make that bigger? And maybe a little narrower. I reckon if you take the pole out of it and you just use that brush by itself.
How do you find him when you're now maybe having to cross country before you go show jumping?
Yeah.
Do you find that's harder for him to deal with, or does he take each discipline as it comes?
It's interesting. It's a really good question, John. For this particular horse, what it will naturally do physically is they'll be a little stretched. They'll be a little flatter, which isn't great when you're trying to bascule for the show jumping. Now, because he is short striding, it actually helps him a little bit, because I've got something to a little bit support and get him back. One of the words Nikki also used was balance. And this guy's balance is a little bit down on the front. I'm trying to get his balance back on his bum. So actually jumping on the last day has been quite good for him. The other thing it does is he's a bit more relaxed. And for them to jump well and let go and use themselves behind, the more relaxed they are, the better as well. So he, because he was fourth in the 3-star there, and he probably did one of his best jumping rounds at Ballindennis on the last day after cross country.
So that format's suiting him. So please God, now this summer you'll have plenty more success.
Hopefully. Let's do something else. Let's put the brush. Can that go up? Oh God, really made this. This is very different, isn't it? Good Lord.
Gone from 80 to 110.
There we go.
People pay their money. They want to see something good.
So this is now for your entertainment, because you get to. This is not about the structure, building the pyramid of the training scale. So this is not what you're supposed to do at home. What do they say in those ads? Please do not try this at home.
We're almost finished this session, so we're going to end up on a high here. No pun intended either.
I mean, I could be a lot lower down than where I started. My 4th S staying on, that could be an issue in a minute. What'll I do? I'm going to give him a little bit more time on the turn to see that. So I'm going to do that a little bit how I was doing it beforehand. This is fine. This could go up a little bit more, right? Yeah. No, you went crazy with the middle one, but it's fine. Thank you, girls. You're very kind. Good boy. So I'm trying to have enough energy and enough jump, so if he looks, he's still going to have it. Oh, it was poor for me. I just lost his. So I'm annoyed with myself because I showed it to him a little late. Got to get his eyes on it. So this is really good for me. I'm doing these demos, believe it or not, guys, for me rather than for you. That sounds very selfish. Good boy. Because I'm getting feedback on what this guy is going to be like. So that there, even though he'd done it before, he did see it a little bit late the first time. He was very good that time. Good boy. But he wants to jump the fence. You're very good. Good boy. Good boy.
Give him a round of applause for that. That was very good.
Good boy. Okay, what I think we could do now, I think there's probably going to be a little bendy line between the red mills and this. No, I tell you what, guys, fire this one up maybe 6 holes. He's not seen it yet. We'll do that. And then, let me look at my ground line over here. Cool, and then switch the ground line on this vertical, please. I'm basically getting to the point now where Nikki was at, where I'll just throw a few fences together.
I think so.
Ground line on the other side for this one, please. No, leave, that's fine. So look, if we had more time and I hadn't spent so much time rabbiting on in the beginning and waffling away, we'd have, with these angles here, lovely way of introducing a horse to angles is like that's nearly a straight line. But what you start doing, and you can put, like if you've got a Red Mills cap at home, you can put it on the ground underneath here. Obviously don't damage it because you want to wear it in public and promote the brand because it's a wonderful brand. But you just start turning the angle. So you don't change the distance. You're going to jump middle to middle, but you put something under the 2 little walls there, and then you can just gradually angle it. And you really get their trust. It's great exercise. Our new performance manager, Sam Griffiths, loves that one. And it's very good. So, but I'm not going to do the... you want me to do the double, don't you? Because it's of a tight turn, so I better do that. Go on, I'll go and do that. Yeah, thanks, Nikki. She just said, good luck, Sam, at the end. So I'll do that little double, that little angle. I'm just going to go and have a little bit of fun here. I'm riding quite long. I'm riding my show jumping distance. Right, so this is going to be a tight turn. Don't kill the canter. Trust that there'll be a distance. Don't kill the canter. Eyes up. Ooh, it's a bit deep. Good boy. Peel off on an invisible line. Try and get a change that's a little bit late. Jump the corner because we've not jumped the corner. Good boy. Okay, corner can go wider and up 3, please. Oh yeah, I'm going to go all the way around. I'm going to jump my verts, my foreigns, Red Mills, Carday and Martin. So many brands on that vertical there. Take them all in, buy their products. Very good companies. I've probably all won now. And I'm going to look for my brush. I actually need to look for my brush early. Good boy. Good boy. Okay. You guys, I noticed when Nikki was riding how amazing your counting was. How many strides was there? There was a very scratchy 5. And again, that's that's what gets me out of trouble. As much as I'm going to have to ride quite well to get my clear round, and I've got to get softer for me as a rider as well, because I'm not a very natural rider at all. I don't have great balance. So I've got to work on doing less, and that's what I need for the show jumping. But for the he was so good there. A lot of horses would have found that really hard, because I put him on a real, I'm going to say 4 1/4 was the distance, and they tighten up a little bit on the turn. So what I want to do now is I want to try and make that a smoother 4 strides around there. My corner's bigger. I've got this other little line here. Okay, I'm going to start off of my corner. It's a little bit bigger, it's a little bit wider, so that's the progression fence that we're doing at the moment. I'm going to go corner, then I'm going to go vertical to my skinny, and I'm going to try and get that on a smoother 4, not a pokey 5. And then I'm going to come and I'm going to jump my second angle, my little wally fence here, which is going to be quite a big angle, and I'm going to go down to my shoulder brush. And at that point, I may have bitten off more than I can chew. We will see. Let's hopefully not.
Nikki has a big smile on her face over there, because she set the course from.
This is what the fun thing about riding, eventing, is you just get to invent stuff, invent lines. Oh, good boy. It's going to be a little tight turn. Get my eyes on my brush now. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's better. Good boy. Okay, now this is going to surprise him because there's lots of fences everywhere. See the little wiggles? Good boy. Good boy. Good lad.
He's so nimble, isn't he?
He's so, lads, he's wiggling to get into fences.
But does that play against him on your flat work when you're going into your dressage, or do you find that really plays to you? That they're so wiggly. He's so wiggly.
Yeah.
He's so responsive. You put a leg on, he's gone one way or another, which is a huge credit to your training of him. But I'm just saying, if from the flat work, from your dressage point of view, do you find that?
Yeah, it's a good question. Yeah, he is quite. The thing is, when he wiggles, right, you guys can really see it. He's like darty. He's like a fish. Boom, 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 like that. He needs to get a little smoother through his ribs. You know when I talked about getting the suppleness over the back, start by getting it through the body. He needs to get a little softer through his body. But what he's doing there, so that's what you're seeing in that his wiggles are quite pronounced, and that can play into the flat work a little bit. But to be honest, I should be able to, if I'm riding with my legs, and if I'm riding from my legs to my reins, the flat work should be good. And he actually does a very nice test, in fairness to him. He's trying to say something. We don't know what he's trying to say at the moment. But that's kind of what you're seeing there in how hard he tried to jump those fences. It's definitely a horse who wants to do it. I don't think they just come out of the womb like that. I do think that horses come out of the womb that are kind of telling you, I don't really want to do this. So you get some of those, and maybe a bit of hunting, or maybe a bit of, maybe there's something else. But I think a lot of horses come out of the womb, and they're a phenomenal animal in that they literally carry us. Like, I was lucky enough to go to Tokyo to an Olympic Games. Not one footprint belonging to me is left behind in Tokyo. There are 4 hoof prints belonging to Flamengo. That's what horses do. They carry us around Olympic Games. It's a phenomenal sport like that. And they come out of the womb, and they're there for you. They're like going, what would you like me to do? And if you train them the way Nikki has showed you with Easy Game, starting small, giving them confidence, when they make a mistake, it's theirs. They never get I'm not even carrying a stick. And that you're kind of a bit more forgiving. That's one of the things that's changed a lot about my philosophy, is I used to think that if you made a mistake, you had to correct it instantly, because otherwise that's what they remember. You got to be careful with that. Like, if a human being makes a mistake, and you're on their case straight away saying, what the hell did you do? And you can explain to a human being, you can speak English to a human being, I still think that you cause anxiety. And if you just say, okay, let's do that again, let's try that again. Like, what would you do if you're a training employee, first day at work, and they made a mistake? Would you go, you idiot, you absolute idiot, you've given me coffee and not tea? I am very fussy about my tea, I probably would say that. But you don't, because now they're worried. Now they're going, oh my God, he is weird about his tea, which is true. It's the same with the horses, to just build them up. And that's why I think you see a horse there who really fights for you. I didn't know what that was going to be, what that line was going to be. I was genuine, saying I might have bitten off more than I can chew. He was brilliant.
Your rhythm never changed, your hands never moved, just your legs wrapped around him, upper body movement, and he just, ears pricked, looking for his next job.
No,
it's
I'm
not
delighted.
to panic.
Never panic. Never panic. There's a kind of saying that you hear in sport, trust the process. That's what Nikki and I have been trying to teach you this evening, is what does a process look like? We've talked about rhythm. Nikki's talked about rhythm. The balance, I've got my 4 S's. We just about managed to keep those. And to embrace simplicity. It is okay. That is what I think. If Elon Musk is a bit strange, but I think if a lot of people who've built big businesses were here and they came over, like, I'm sure the Connollys across the road, they came over, I'm sure the Donahues here, when you build a big business, if you do the basics really, really well, and you deliver high quality, consistent foundations of whatever it is that you're trying to provide, and you stick to that, and you do it day in, day out, I think that is when, then that's when you wake up one day and you go, oh my God, we did manage to do all this. But it's not about trying to be crazy and do crazy stuff. It's about trying to be consistent and very, very good in your foundation. Okay, so for horses very revved up jumping, what would be the tips to try and get them to relax? I would say what you saw Nikki doing, starting off in trot. That's okay. So they're not associating jumping just with speed. And then on this exercise here, one thing that we didn't have to do, either of us, was we didn't have to come back to a walk or a trot and break up the exercise and just kind of say, because this is good because they see a fence, straight line to another fence, and that's a horse who's keen, that's normally when they're going to be at their most forward. They're going to see, oh, I know what I'm doing, I'm going down to that fence, I'm going to run. And you just say very gently, just, no, back we come to basics. And start small. Like you could, start with your canter pulls. The canter pulls might not trigger the same thing if it's mental. So then you got to go to a small jump so they know it's a jump. But then don't be afraid to canter and even trot, and then canter again. And or even come in and canter and then back to a trot and jump your second one out of trot. And it's just having the patience to not do it until you get it right, because you will. You'll do that for a few times, and you go, oh, that's a lot better. That's great. Right, let's go, and off we go again. And it's not. It's the patience. My dad's thing, which really infuriated me at the time, because I was only a young person. But he said, you don't practice if you get it right. You practice till you don't get it wrong. So that's how you're going to change that habit, is to play with your at a distance, get it until it feels right, and then slowly, when you are trying to go, if you've been doing it on, say, 8 strides, if it was this distance, which would be, and very low, then when you're moving up to your 7 strides, that you're trying to get that extra stride length just through softness, not through speed. So to help get a horse, for everyone down there, to help get a horse's stride length a little bit longer, if they are quite short striding, I think the flat work is useful as a foundation. So like your shoulder ins and stuff like that, that was something I was doing with him here, is do a little shoulder in, because you get that. What are we trying to do? We're trying to stretch them. And if you think, imagine you've got like a little coat hanger that's kind of stuck there and whatever, and you're trying to get it a little bit more elastic. If you can start bending it a little bit, little flexes, little releases, and that's what's going to help to get that stride length a little bit longer. So your shoulder ins when you're doing your flat work, and then to be honest, even when you're doing if I was doing this exercise now on a short striding horse, I wouldn't be afraid to put in a little bit of bend and flexion on the exercise. I'm not even worried about the number of strides now. I'm just letting them, because when they're bending, they're stretching one side. If I bend this horse to the right, he's stretching his left side. If I bend him to the left, he's stretching his right side. And stretching is what we want. So the little flex and then the release. And as you release, you'll feel the horse relax and just take that longer stride. It's going to be slow, it's going to be marginal, but that's what you're doing. So you could also like jump on a circle a little bit if you wanted to bring the jumping into it, but you're thinking flex, release, and allow. And it's the release and the allow that you feel a longer stride. And the other thing is, sometimes when we think we want them to take a longer stride, we kick. The leg can, particularly if we squeeze, it can tighten them, and they can, they kind of, if we clamp, they clamp. And so one thing I've had to learn to do is ride a little bit of a looser leg. I have big fat legs. I look terrible in miniskirt. So I try not to wear one too often. And that's because I've used my leg too much in my life. And that's why a lot of my horses can be a little bit tight. And actually, the more I learn to get my leg off and relax my knee, relax my leg, they relax in their middle, and it's the relaxation that gives a longer stride.